Welcome to Arthos, where ancient wisdom meets modern understanding. Episode 7: The Collapse of a Hero. Have you ever watched someone's mind break? Or perhaps you have felt it yourself. The sudden dryness in your mouth, the trembling in your hands, the room spinning as a suffocating weight presses down on your chest. We often think of anxiety as a modern-day problem, a byproduct of our fast-paced corporate lives or social media pressures. But panic attacks are not new. 5,000 years ago, standing on the edge of the greatest war in history, the most powerful warrior on the planet experienced a complete, terrifying physical and mental breakdown. And his symptoms were recorded, verse by verse, for the rest of humanity to study. Welcome to the Bhagavad Gita. This is episode 7, The Collapse of a Hero. We are continuing our journey through the first chapter, Arjuna Vishad Yoga, the yoga of Arjuna's despair. Today, we witness the devastating moment when emotional attachment completely destroys physical strength. Let's step into part 1 of today's story, the weight of compassion. Remember where we parked the chariot in the last episode. Lord Krishna deliberately stopped right in front of Arjuna's beloved grandfather Bhishma and his revered teacher Dronacharya. Arjuna looked across the battlefield and saw generations of his own family waiting to slaughter each other. Listen to how sage Vyas describes Arjuna's immediate reaction in Shlok 28. Kripaya pravishto vishidana idam abravit. This translates to, overwhelmed with intense compassion and filled with deep sorrow, Arjuna spoke these words. Pay close attention to the Sanskrit word kripaya pravishto. Kripa means compassion, but here it is combined with avishta, which means to be possessed or overwhelmed. Arjuna isn't experiencing true, divine compassion. True compassion makes you strong enough to do the right thing. Arjuna is experiencing toxic pity, an emotional virus that has suddenly infected his mind and is rapidly spreading to his body. Now, let's dive into part 2, the anatomy of panic. The greatest archer in the world begins to speak to his charioteer, but his voice is shaking. Listen to Shloks 28, 29, and 30 together, where Arjuna describes his symptoms. Drishtvimam svajanam Krishna yutsum samupasthitam. Siddhanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishushati. Vepthush cha sharire me roma harshas cha jayte. Gandivam sramsate hastatvak chaiva paridahite. The direct translation is, O Krishna, seeing my own kinsmen gathered here eager to fight, my limbs are giving way, and my mouth is drying up. My whole body is trembling, and my hair is standing on end. My bow, the Gandiva, is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning all over. And he finishes his terrifying assessment in Shlok 31. Na cha shaknomi avasthatum bhramtiva chame mana nimittani cha pashyami vipritani keshava. I am unable to stand any longer. My mind is whirling, and I see only causes of misfortune, O Keshava. This brings us to part 3, the slipping of the bow. You have to understand the gravity of what is happening here. Arjuna is not an ordinary soldier. He is a seasoned veteran who has fought demons, gods, and entire armies single-handedly. His bow, the Gandiva, was a divine weapon that no mortal man could even lift, let alone string. Arjuna could hold the Gandiva for days without breaking a sweat. Yet now, the verse specifically says, Gandivam sramsate hastat. The Gandiva is slipping from his hand. Why? Because physical strength is entirely dependent on mental clarity. When your mind is confused about your purpose, your hands will literally drop their weapons. Also, notice the specific name Arjuna uses for Krishna at the end of his panic attack. He calls him Keshava. Keshava literally means the killer of the Keshi demon. Arjuna's subconscious mind is incredibly smart. Even in the middle of a panic attack, he uses the name of the demon slayer. Arjuna is indirectly crying out for help, realizing that the most dangerous demons he will face today are not the warriors standing outside his chariot, but the demons of fear, attachment, and confusion running wild inside his own head. And finally, we arrive at part 4, the mirror of anxiety. How many times have we prepared for the physical battles of life, getting the degree, saving the capital, building the business plan, only to have our Gandiva slip from our hands at the final moment because of emotional doubt? We suffer from imposter syndrome, we fear what our family will think, and suddenly, our mouth dries up, our mind whirls, and we feel unable to stand. The Gita is showing us a brutal truth. No amount of physical talent or external preparation can save you if you have not mastered your own mind. Arjuna has completely dropped his weapons. He has physically surrendered to his anxiety. But the human ego is a very tricky thing. When we are scared to do our duty, we rarely admit that we are just afraid. Instead, we try to sound philosophical. We try to invent logical reasons for why we are quitting. In the next episode, Arjuna stops talking about his trembling body, and he starts trying to debate with God, inventing brilliant, highly spiritual excuses for why he should run away from the war. See you in episode 8.